The body might go still, but energy never stops moving. And where that energy goes after those close, quiet moments, that is where the real truth lives. He may never say it out loud. He may never put it into words. But what he does in that silence after intimacy, it speaks everything. It whispers what his mouth refuses to say. You cannot fake that part. Nobody can. And that is exactly why you need to stop asking him how he feels and start watching what his energy does when everything goes quiet. Because that is when the real version of him shows up. That is when the mask finally slips. That is when the performance ends and something true begins. But before we go any further, I want you to do one thing for yourself right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Not just because it helps this space grow, though it truly does, and every bit of support matters. But more than that, because this channel was built for you, for your clarity, for your peace. For the version of you that is done overthinking and ready to finally read what is real. If you have been waiting for a space that speaks truth without fluff, without games, without going around the point, this is it. Stay close. I have got you. And what comes next is going to change how you read people forever. Picture yourself standing outside a house late at night. Inside, someone has just lit a fire. You can see the glow from the window, warm and golden. But now that the fire is burning, does he stay near it, or does he drift away into the dark? That one moment tells you everything. Not what he said when the heat was high, not the sweet words, not the tension, not the electric feeling in the air. What matters is what he does when the spark settles, when the room goes quiet, when you are both lying there in the still, and there are no more roles to play and no more lines to deliver. Just energy, raw, unfiltered, unguarded. Because here is the lie we have all been fed. That passion in the moment is proof of connection. That if he kissed you long enough, held on tight enough, it must mean something deep. But listen carefully. Desire shouts. Real feeling lingers. A man who is genuinely connected to you does not fall into silence and disappear. He stays in the quiet with you. He sits in it. You do not need to chase his words. You just need to watch what he does. Does he lean into you? Or does he check out emotionally the second it is over? Does he reach for your hand? Or does he reach for his phone? Does he breathe easy beside you? Or does he suddenly find somewhere else to be inside his own head? The body says what the soul is afraid to speak out loud. When the moment ends and there is nothing left to perform, that is when a person's truest energy begins to surface. Some men talk through grand gestures. Some make promises that sound like poetry. But the man who is truly invested speaks through his presence. He does not just hold your body, he holds the weight of the moment. He stays in it with you like it is worth staying in. So stop falling for noise. Start listening to what the stillness reveals. And here is something worth holding on to. You are probably more intuitive than you have been giving yourself credit for. You have been picking up on energy your whole life. You have been feeling the truth before the words even arrive. But you have been second-guessing yourself, talking yourself out of what you already knew. That ends now. From this moment forward, trust the whisper more than the performance. Because it has never been about what he said in the heat of the moment. It has always been about what his energy does when the lights go out. Say this out loud right now wherever you are. I trust what energy shows me. I do not chase clarity. I draw in truth. I am the mirror, not the noise. I am unforgettable. Drop those words in the comments if they landed somewhere inside you.
Write them not just in text, but into your chest. Because that knowing, that quiet inner signal, that is your power. The moment you own that power, you stop wondering where you stand. You already know. Stay with me. We are going deeper. It is not about what he says. It is about where he stays. A man's presence after those close moments speaks louder than any sweet word whispered in the dark. What matters is not the high. What matters is what he does when the high fades. Because words can be rehearsed, words can be polished, but stillness tells everything. Any man can whisper the right thing when the room is soft and the mood is right. But what does he do when that moment is over? When the performance ends and there is nothing left to fill the space? Think of a sunset on a quiet beach. The sky is gold. The light is warm. It is breathtaking. But once the sun dips below the horizon, most people leave. They came for the show, not for the peace that settles in after. But the rare ones, they stay. They sit in the stillness. They breathe in the quiet without needing the fireworks to feel something. That is the kind of energy you are watching for. You have been taught to focus on what he does when the tension is high. You have been trained to read the heat like a script. But the truth comes after, when the room is still and his heartbeat slows. Does he lean closer or does he pull back? And maybe right now you are thinking, what if he is just tired? What if I am reading too much into it? What if I expect too much? But hear this. Presence does not have to be dramatic. It does not require big speeches or grand moments. It just has to be consistent. It is in the way his eyes stay soft, in how his breath lines up with yours, in the way his hand does not rush to let go. You want to know if he is truly connected? Do not look at how intense he is during the high. Look at how gently he stays after. Because a man who only came for the moment, his energy leaves before his body does. But a man who feels something deeper, he treats that silence like it is something worth protecting. He does not rush to fill it. He does not grab at distractions. He just stays, fully present, completely there. That is where confusion comes in for so many women, because we were told love is loud, that it looks like big gestures and blazing passion. But real connection does not shout. It surrounds. It settles. It sinks in quietly. If his presence feels calm but close, if it feels like peace and not a show, that is your answer. Let his energy speak. Because presence is the truest love language. Not late-night texts, not playlists, not empty promises. It is how he sits beside you when there is nothing left to perform. So do not ask him how he feels. Watch where he rests. Because a man who is emotionally present does not vanish when the moment ends. He deepens into it. And if right now something inside you is starting to see the difference between a man who touches your body and one who actually reaches your soul, you are already ahead. Say this and drop it in the comments. I choose presence over promises. I read the stillness. I deserve a love that stays. Say it. Mean it. Let it take root. That is how you stop hoping and start knowing. Stay close. We are going even further. The body does not lie. Even when his mouth is silent, his body is speaking.
It always is. It is too honest to fake, too deep to pretend. And that truth hits different after closeness, because once the room is quiet and there is nothing left to act out, his body tells the real story. His hands, do they look for you or fold away? His eyes, do they drift somewhere else or stay on your face even in the quiet? His stillness, is it soft or is it tense? A man who is truly connected does not shrink after closeness. He softens. His shoulders drop. His breath slows. His energy stops scattering. It settles. Because being near you did not just satisfy something in him. It grounded him. Think about fire again. When it burns, it is fierce, loud. That is passion. But once the flames settle, what matters is the heat left in the coals. Does the warmth stay, or does everything go cold the moment the flame dies? That is what so many women miss, because we were trained to read words, not energy, to focus on what was said, not what was felt. But the body carries the truth. He might say he is just tired. He might smile and say the right thing. But if his chest is tight, if he turns away, if his energy flickers out the moment it is over, your gut already knows the answer. He cannot fake alignment. And here is what some of you might be thinking. What if he is just not the expressive type? Fair. Not every man is loud with his feelings. But presence does not have to be loud. Sometimes it is a hand resting gently on your hip. Sometimes it is the slow way he blinks while looking at your face. Sometimes it is not what he does, but what he does not rush to do. A man who is really connected does not feel the need to fill every second of silence. He feels safe in it. And that right there is your signal. Words can impress. Energy always tells the truth. Stillness speaks louder than any promise ever could. And the body? It never forgets what the soul once felt. Stay close, because what comes next might shift something in you. There is one small thing a man does after intimacy that reveals everything. It is the line between emotional presence and emotional escape. Does he check in, or does he check out? Because a real connection does not end when the physical part ends. After closeness, when the quiet settles, there is a small window. Easy to miss if you are not watching. But inside that window, you will see it clearly. Does he reach toward you or pull away? It might be tiny, a soft glance, a gentle touch, a quiet question. But it means everything. Because the man who is truly present, heart and mind and body, does not just roll over when it is done. He does not go cold. He does not reach for his phone or start talking about something random to create distance. He checks in. How are you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? It is not a script. It is not politeness for the sake of it. It is instinct. It is him still tuned into your experience, not just his own. Because real intimacy is not just bodies in the same space, it is energy shared, connection felt. A man who is emotionally aware is not already thinking about tomorrow. He is still with you, still in the quiet, still holding the moment. You might think, what if he is just not emotional like that? What if he is naturally quiet? Emotional presence does not have to be loud. It does not need long conversations or deep confessions. It just needs intention. Checking in might be one sentence. It might even just be a look. But the feeling behind it, that is what matters. That is how care actually moves. That is how you know it is real. It is simple, steady attention.
It is him saying without words, "You still matter to me right now." But if he checks out the moment it is over, if he emotionally vanishes, then he may have been physically close to you, but he never really reached you. And you deserve more than that. You deserve someone who does not treat closeness like a finish line, someone who treats it like a doorway into something deeper. If you have ever laid there afterward, wondering if any of it was real, let this be your clarity. Real connection checks in. Passing interest checks out. Say this and type it below if you feel it. I deserve a connection that checks in. I deserve care that moves without being asked for. Now stay with me, because we're about to go into something even more revealing. What actually happens inside a man when he finally feels safe?
After closeness, when the noise stops and the room settles, something shifts inside him. His inner world either relaxes into the moment or tightens back up. His mind is built for control and forward motion. But after real intimacy, when his energy drops back to neutral, he hits a crossroads. He either opens up or he shuts back down. Some men retreat fast. They feel too exposed, too raw, so they pull away quickly. You will feel it happen. He goes quiet in a different way. He picks up his phone. He starts talking about something completely unrelated. He goes cold without explanation. And here is what matters. That is not about you. That is his own wiring reacting to feeling too open. Because closeness cracked something in him, and now he is unsure if it is safe to keep it open. But when a man genuinely feels safe with you, he does not close. He softens. His voice gets quieter. His breath slows. His guard drops without him even realizing it. And the real parts of him start to surface. He shares things he never planned to. Old stories, hidden fears, dreams he does not usually say out loud. Even small things, like how he always sleeps with one foot outside the blanket, or how he hates the sound of fans at night. It sounds like small talk, but it is not. It is trust leaking out quietly. He might even say, "I have never told anyone that before." And when that happens, do not brush past it. That is not nothing. That is everything. That is a man placing something tender in your hands. Because any man can get physically close to you, but not every man can be emotionally bare. The ones who can, they are not just there for your body. They are craving your witness. They want to be truly seen and still accepted. And when he invites you into his world, when he says things like, "We should go there sometime," or "You would love this place I used to go," listen. He is placing you inside his story. That is not performance. That is placement. He is imagining you in his life, even if it is quiet, even if it is brief. That is real. So hear this clearly. The way he talks after closeness tells you everything about whether he feels safe. And when he feels safe with you, he does not pull away. He leans in. Say this and write it in the comments below. I deserve a love that deepens. I hold space, not pressure. I offer safety and I receive it in return. Stay with me, because we're about to get to the deepest part, the part most people skip right over. Not what happens during the night, but what happens the next day. Because a man who is truly pulled in does not just leave you in the moment. He carries you into his world. There is a shift that happens. It is soft, easy to miss if you are moving too fast. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. He starts treating what you share like it is worth protecting.
Not in a possessive way, not in a controlling way, but in a careful, quiet, intentional way.
He slows down. He becomes more thoughtful. He is not just there for the feeling. He is present for what the feeling means. He does not treat your emotions like they are fragile. He treats them like they are real. He does not treat your body like something he won. He treats it like something worth honoring, not because you demanded it, not because you gave him rules, but because something inside him already shifted. Something in him knows this is not casual anymore. Desire wants the moment, but something real wants to protect what it is building with you. Your peace, your trust, your safety in the connection. He may not have used any label yet. He may still be figuring out what to call what this is, but his energy already knows. It is already adjusting. You will see it in the details, in how he remembers things that matter to you, in the care behind small choices he makes, in the way he follows through without being asked. That kind of man is not just showing up for pleasure. He is showing up for meaning. Even without the word relationship, you will feel how he honors what is between you. When he listens more closely, when he remembers you were nervous about something last week, when he touches you like you are more than just a body in a moment. That is not a game. That is not performance. That is something that actually lasts. Say this now and let it settle in your chest. I attract connection that honors me. I deserve care that speaks without words. Protect this bond or do not come near it. Now stay, because we are at the deepest part of all of this. The part no one talks about. The part that speaks louder than any label, louder than any words that get said in the dark. You do not need to ask where you stand. His energy already told you. The truth never comes through words first. It always shows up in energy, in how present he is, in the stillness that most people skip right over while trying to decode mixed signals and analyze texts. You do not need to chase answers when your body already felt the truth in his silence. When something in you already picked up the signal your mind is still trying to catch up with. If the question of what are we still lingers after all that closeness, something important is missing. And it might not be the label. It might be the actual connection. Stop scrolling his status. Start reading his stillness. After closeness, does he sit quietly beside you? Does he breathe easy like he is finally somewhere he belongs? Or does his energy feel like it is already halfway out the door? That is your answer. Stop overthinking his past and watch his choices right now. Does he follow up? Does he follow through? Does he linger without needing a reason? Not because he has to, but because your presence settles something in him. A man who is emotionally present does not need a title to treat you with intention. He does not need to say the word love to behave like he feels it. You will see it in how he gently adjusts your pillow, in how he stays close not to own you, but to protect what just happened between you. You will not need to pull clarity from a man whose energy already handed it to you. You just have to stop ignoring what your gut has been saying all along. So here is the deepest truth of everything we have talked about. If he stays present when the moment ends, if he checks in and follows through, if he speaks with care and moves with intention, then you do not need to ask if he is hooked. You already know. Let that land. Let it echo quietly. If something inside you just shifted, if something whispered, I am done second guessing, anchor that truth in the comments like a promise to yourself.
I trust what energy reveals. I do not guess anymore. I know. I attract love that speaks through stillness. Hit that like button if something stirred in you. Subscribe if you are ready for more truth that does not talk around the point or play it small.
This space is for the woman who is done settling for love that fades. This is for the woman who is ready to be truly remembered, not just for how she looked in a moment, but for how her presence felt long after the moment was gone. Stay radiant, stay rooted, and I will meet you in the next one.